Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of Four Guys with Quarters. And tonight's topics, we're going to be talking about a couple different things. We're going to be talking about Modern Warfare 2019 again, and no loot boxes, Assassin's favorite thing. Luigi's Mansion 3, our thoughts on it. Atlas, that just came into game preview. Assassin had a chance to play that a little bit. The Blizzard controversy, and the first topic is going to be Sea of Thieves, Fort of the Damned content, and, Assassin went hands-on in that as well. So, before we get into those topics, let me introduce our special guest tonight. His name is Dreadpool. He's an excellent member of the gaming community. What's up, and welcome, Dreadpool.
Oh, thank you. Just having a great time today on vacation, and figured I'd pop in. I appreciate the invite.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for being here, man. We appreciate it. And to the person who's never missed an episode, and his chair who just joined this season, ZPCI Assassin. What's going on, buddy?
Hello there.
Your chair just said hello, too, as well.
Yeah.
And we have the ever-amazing Zebra Fries. Welcome.
Hi. Hanging out.
Glad to have you here. Well, before we get into it, Sea of Thieves just dropped some content, huh? Fort of the Damned. I haven't really had much of a chance to play this DLC, but let me get right into it. Assassin's played a lot of this DLC, and I think, I'm not being sarcastic here, but I want to say that he's in love with this DLC, and he can't wait to get back on. Am I right?
No, this DLC is keeping me off the game. But it's not the content itself keeping me off the game, it's the player base. So, like, the content itself, like, they had new items, new clothing for that everyone can wear, but it's mostly targeted for the female pirates. And then they had this whole, this fort of the damned that it's kind of like a raid in a way. Like, you have to kill yourself like 6 different ways, get the lantern colors, and then you light them, and skellies will come out with specific colors. So, like red, you'll need the red lantern to kill them, and then you'll do a bunch of waves like a normal fort, and then they start mixing up colors, and then one of the really annoying bosses that were in the tall tales comes out and just ruins the entire fun. Come out and you kill it, and you get so much good loot, like 5 stronghold barrels, Athena's chests, a bunch of fort chests, I forget what they're called, and whatnot. And you're supposed to work with other people, blah blah blah, fun. Well, so Yeti and I were playing this DLC. We were trying to figure out how to kill ourselves. We remembered from past experiences how to do it, but it took us a while. We spawned on one side of the map, we had to go to the other, back to the other. So it took us like 2 hours to set up, and then we needed the skull, which took us like a half hour to get and whatnot. So then we're ready to attack this fort. And these people came by, they sounded nice, they wanted to do it, they helped us kill this guy that was being a total douchebag to everyone on the server. So we joined up with them, we killed them, and we did the fort. Well, we had the fort started. We were more than halfway done when they joined. And we aligned stuff, and we killed the boss, which took another hour because it's just a lot time consuming because you keep on dying because the boss is just so OP. And then we open the fort door, we get killed by the people who allianced us, and we lost all the loot. And it is just so frustrating that Rare implements a thing that people want to be all friendly. They can take it down and kill you immediately, which is so stupid in a game like this.
You sound a little salty about that, Assassin.
I'm just like, it took us like 4 or 5 hours to completely do this, and just someone's like, "Oh yeah, let's take our flag." Oh, now you're dead. Like, and that's Sea of Thieves. Like, every single time. Like, no matter what, when we play, the new event starts, new event's about to end, or somewhere in the middle, everyone is just total douchebags. Like, it's not even fun anymore. Like, I get it. Pirates can be douchebags, whatever. But like, there's a point where you just had enough. And I'm like way past that point now. Like, I don't want to sign into the game and start these new things, knowing that Rare always puts people into one small part of the map, and everyone just fucks everyone over. Like, I just went there to fight some skellies, do like these hard like forts, like, and I just don't want to worry about anyone.
Yeah, and to everybody's listening, Assassin and I were like huge Sea of Thieves fans when this like first launched, and we played nonstop till we hit Pirate Legend. I mean, we put like probably 60 hours in within the first 3 days or so, or maybe even more. Um, so we were obsessed with this game, and I went back to it. I personally didn't find anything to keep me on it. I found that like doing this Fort of the Damned on a PvP server, because you can't turn PvP off. You can't turn off crossplay for this, so it's kind of annoying. It bothers me, and I don't want to spend the hours like Assassin did, to put like 6, 7 hours just trying to get there and get it done, and then have everything stolen from you from people on the PC. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Assassin, but I remember the story when you and Yeti told me in the party that they thought that you guys were on Xbox, and they made a point of that.
Yeah, they asked if we were on Xbox, and they're like, "Oh, we're on Xbox too." But I mean, I doubt that they were on Xbox, to be honest. But I mean, most people are on PC these days. I feel like Sea of Thieves is more of a PC game than it is an Xbox game. Sometimes, other times, sure, it's both. But I mean, you get into a battle, and everyone's like hitting you across the map because of fucking mouse and keyboard, and controller guys get no aim assist. Like, how is that even fair? Like, if it had aim assist on console, that would be totally fine. Like, you can destroy PC players probably perfectly fine, or the other way around, as it is right now, and it would be more balanced. But as of right now, it's not. And then the only thing that doesn't really need aim assist, the sword, they keep on nerfing it. So if you miss a swing, you're sitting there like you swung like 1,000-pound weight and you're out of breath, and you have to wait like 10 more seconds to swing that 1,000-pound weight again.
Yeah, I mean, I can only feel your pain and frustration, and that's why the water is full of salt in Sea of Thieves lately.
Right?
Dreadpool, have you had a chance to play Sea of Thieves?
Yes, I have. Not this new expansion though. I love the game, but the premise of it is good. You know, you get to play. Not everybody's OP over the other one. This, and that. But we do see that PC does have an advantage. There is something about it, the uniqueness that draws me to it. But at the same time, you know, I've played it many a times. I've played with other Pirate Legends, and they're like, "All right, let's do this." You know, we'll go. And I played almost 8 hours one night with a friend of mine, and it was a great experience. You know, when you play with friends, and everybody's always been saying that. You know, it's a great experience. When you're playing by yourself, not so much so. But because of all that, I just don't see it doesn't feel like there's a progression to me. You know, my character's still the same character. Yeah, I might, you know, I have a little symbol when I go into here and say, oh, I've collected this. Okay, I've collected that. I've done this. But other than that, you know, in the pirate ship, you know, that part's the coolest part to me is the integration of the other franchises. But other than that, I just don't feel it. You know, I've lost that excitement and that feeling of when we play the game. So this new expansion really hasn't drawn me to it. Frankly, I kind of forgot about it. So it hasn't really, you know what I mean? To me, it hasn't done much, and I'm sure to a lot of other people that have passed on this game, it has not drawn them to be like, hey, let's try it out. Or people like myself have played it to come back and say, yeah, you know what? Let's give this one a chance again. Let's see what they've got this time. The other expansions I've done that with. You know, hey, let's jump on. That's why. But this one here didn't. I don't know if they just didn't promote it enough, or if just I'm blind to it because I've seen too much of it and decided it's not for me. You know, I'm bored with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I could feel you there. I mean, I kind of see where you're coming from. When I play it too, like I feel like my character doesn't get any progression. The only thing that I felt was any type of progression was Pirate Legend, and you had when the game first dropped, it took so long to get there, and it took forever with the types of quests you got, chasing animals and chickens, and I mean, it was just hectic looking for all that stuff. So I wanted to get to you, Taylor. Um, have you played Sea of Thieves at all? What do you think of it?
So I played a little bit of it. I want to say it was like the beta or something. That was like the only time I ever played Sea of Thieves. I was gonna get it originally when it first came out, but it seemed like the more I saw of it and the more like we kind of talked about it originally when I was back on the podcast or on the podcast like back then when it first came out, it was just like there's not a lot to do in the game. And then when more stuff kind of came out, it's like, oh yeah, I can do this and it'll keep me entertained for like a couple hours and then I'm not going to play the game. And so I never really got into Sea of Thieves because of that reason. And even like watching the trailer for this new stuff, it's like, oh, this will keep me entertained for a couple hours and then I'm not going to play the game again. So I never got into Sea of Thieves because of that.
I hear you on that.
And I know Siberia is a huge fan of Sea of Thieves. I don't know if he's had a chance to play Fort of the Damned, so I feel bad because he's in the chat. And I gotta say, Siberia, as big as a fan of I am of Sea of Thieves, I'm not feeling the content lately. Um, and some of the stuff that they're just putting in there feels like filler to me. Like I feel like they could do a lot more, right? A lot of the stuff they keep dropping is customization, skins, clothing. I think they even added underwear skins. Am I right, Assassin?
Oh, so you could color it.
I mean,
Like,
do I really want to stare at my pirate's underwear and color it?
well, that's why it's a first-person game, unless you're staring down at the ground. I mean, yeah.
I mean, you had a little fiasco with your pants the other day when you were looking at your character.
Oh my God, yeah. Because so they added on some new dresses, and the way my character's color their skin is, and the dress, it blends in so well. It looks like I have a cape for my ass. Like nothing else. I'm like, excuse me? Like I thought this was like a rated T or E game.
Yeah, I mean, it depending on your TV and your brightness, I see exactly what Assassin's saying. He sent us the pictures in the DMs, and it really looks like for his female character that the pants become part of the skin of the character. And unless you really pay close attention to the shade, it it looks like your character is like nude, bottom down. So it was
Yeah,
kind of
with the
kind of
like a
awkward.
little flap for the back. Like it's so weird.
Yeah. Well, before we beat Sea of Thieves to death, Taylor, I brought this up in the DM chat about the Blizzard and the whole issue, what was going on in Hong Kong and the protests. So, Taylor read a little bit more into this than I did. Taylor, do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, so because the article you sent, I was like, I have no idea what's happening. So I went and found another thing on it. So kind of what happened was for a Grandmaster tournament for Hearthstone, the person who won kind of took the opportunity for an after match thing, took like a moment to say something like "Free Hong Kong," pretty much, and took like a gas mask, put it on, and said "Free Hong Kong." And Blizzard afterwards was like, "Yeah, no, you violated the rules," and Blizzard got a lot of backlash for banning the player and said that you're not getting any of the money that you won for the Grandmasters tournament and you are banned for playing the game for a year. Um, everyone is saying this kind of as Blizzard is doing this for the money because China is becoming a very big growing market for them for esports, because China is kind of looking at recognizing esports as an official, what's the word I'm looking for? As an official kind of,
Sport.
as an official sport, as an official job, pretty much. So that's a huge industry for the gaming world or like a huge market for the gaming world to kind of be getting into now, to go into China for that. And so they're seeing that as Blizzard is taking it more as like a monetary stance, and they don't necessarily care about the actual issues that are happening. And everyone is siding more with the player that it happened with. So it's a huge mess right now. A lot of people on Reddit, a lot of politicians across the country, in America, across the world even, some people, or some like in the UK and pretty much all over the world, are siding with the player themselves and are taking a huge hit on Blizzard and calling Blizzard out for being greedy, pretty much. And Blizzard is trying so hard to defend themselves and being like, no, it's not because we're trying to side with China. We're not doing anything like this. It's that they broke a rule for like not for being like taking, I don't remember what they said exactly, but they kind of like broke a rule by going like a political stance and something that they weren't supposed to be doing at the time, or something like that. Like they broke the guidelines or whatever. So Blizzard's just in a lot of trouble right now, and they're trying so hard to kind of backtrack and not be in that much trouble, and they're just making everything so much worse the more they try and back up.
Yeah, I think it's been a pretty big PR disaster for them. Either way that you look at the flip of the coin, I'm sure, fans are upset when they did the censorship and the banning, and then I'm sure when they made reverse decisions or came out and saying anything, I'm sure that their subsidies in China were probably worried as well, because, I mean, Blizzard's kind of like stuck in the middle, because they operate in China too, so they have to, I guess, abide by Chinese laws. I do feel for the players, though, and the people in Hong Kong. Dreadpool, have you had a chance to read into this?
I've read into some of it. I've been kind of following it, watching shows like Philip DeFranco and all that, and everybody, little things here and there. The way I feel about it is, no matter what you do, what you say, you're always going to be in trouble with this type of politics. Part of the thing is it part of their contract when as a player to make sure that they know that to keep the politics out of it? Is it something that they signed on and said, hey, we're not we don't condone anything. Leave your politics out of it. Let's just play. You play the game. You talk about that. You can love your country. You can do whatever. But let's leave anything political that's going on right, in the immediate area or time frame. Let's leave all that stuff out of there. Let's not bring it into the game. Let's not bring it into this. Now, on the other side, when they did that to him, they put themselves in that place too. They didn't say, "Hey, look, I'm here. This gentleman didn't follow the guidelines." They should have maybe, if they did, just penalize them. Don't do what they just did. A year out and no money. I mean, that's his livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
That these players don't do anything but game. They literally are professional gamers. This is what they do. This is how they make their money. There is no other money anywhere. So to not have that money coming in for a year, to not be able to do anything like that, it puts a bad light on them. And then on top of that, because of them putting their foot in there and stomping them down, they're bad, and then they're backtracking. I mean, it doesn't matter. Everybody is just gonna either gonna side with you and the other half is going to be against you. And then when you flip flop, it's going to be the exact same opposite direction now. So they were just, everybody's got a bad thing about China. China's not that great. China's great. Who knows? We don't know. We just see what we've been presented. I know from the news with my family being in Europe, what we see as Americans and as televised to us by the news and the media is not the same as what we see or that they see over there. So we only see what the side that we're presented. We only see the side that we can get access to. Just like they have their propaganda against us and against this and that, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. We've thought we've been the good guys many a times. We're the bad guys. Okay, so there's always a good side and a bad side. We just don't know. We just see our side. So again, we don't know the full situation. We just know what they've been bringing up, and everybody picks out this little piece of fact and brings it over to us. And hey, look, this is what happened. So unfortunately, there is no win on this. He should have, if he wanted to protest, he could have. I don't even know how to answer that one. You know what I mean? It's you could always say, oh, he should have done this, he should have done that, and at the same time, Blizzard should have done this, they should have done that. There's so many little wheels to this cog that create the whole manufacturing of this whole drama. So unfortunately, I don't have a good answer. It's just we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. We got to stand up for ourselves, but at the same time, be prepared to get stomped.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with everything that you said. There's no matter what your choice is, there's always a consequence to your action or choice. And there's no right or wrong because everything is all whatever you believe to yourself. So the facts being presented, like you said, might not actually be all the facts, or we might not know the whole story in general. To be honest, and that's quite fair. Because we see one side, we're not there to know all the sides. Assassin, would you have any thoughts on this?
I mean, I really don't have much to say except I feel like I'm not kind of surprised Blizzard did this because it's tied to Activision. Activision loves their money, and we all know how that goes. The Activision. Don't get in front of their money.
Well, from what I saw and from what I read, like you said, Dreadpool, I'm going to allude to the fact we don't know what's in the player's contract. We don't know what the contracts state. We don't know if that was in the contract prior to him doing that or the contracts after him doing that, if it made changes. But we do know that Blizzard operates in China, and China is a huge market for Blizzard and their games. So under Chinese law, they have to abide by what China says if they want to continue operating there. And Assassin alluded to the fact that Blizzard loves their money because it's Activision, and that's true too. China is a huge booming market in video games, so if China was to ban Blizzard, that's a huge chunk of money coming Blizzard's way. On the flip side, I feel bad for the kid who received the suspension, even though I believe Blizzard did change their minds after all the backlash. I kind of feel for him in some sense, and I think going forward now he kind of like put a notice on himself with China. I feel bad for him in that aspect, and if he does feel oppressed, I feel bad, but we're not there. We don't know the whole story, and I gotta agree with Dreadpool on that as well. If you guys in the chat have any comments, I see Salty was saying that Dreadpool is bringing up some very good points. I gotta agree with him there. And anybody else want to say anything, feel free to drop it in the chat as we move on to the next topic, which is Atlas has come into a game preview, and is it all it's cracked up to be? Let's ask the PCI Assassin.
Yeah, so I mean the premise of Atlas being a huge open world, pretty much Sea of Thieves, but on a massive scale sounds good, right? Well, I played it with Yeti, his friend of the podcast. We played it, and I don't like it. It's definitely not a game for me. It is is primarily a PC game. Let's be honest here. All the menus are PC. All the inventory stuff's PC. The gameplay is like a PC game, and it's not. I don't think it's made for the Xbox. Same thing with Ark. I don't think Ark should have been on the Xbox, unless it was PC and keyboard support. I don't know if it is or not, but I don't think it's fun whatsoever. Everything is just not good. I don't think there's a single good thing about the game, to be honest, from what I've played.
Yeah, I just want to say I remember when Ark was coming out and Assassin was like, "Oh man, we got to get that. We got to get Ark. We got to get Ark. It looks so cool." And we got Ark, and he played it for like 3 hours, and he's like, "My eyes hurt from this game. It sucks. I'm never gonna touch it again. I'm probably gonna uninstall it." And then Atlas, we saw that coming out, and Assassin was actually very hesitant. I remember that because he was like, "Oh, it's made by the same, kind of like the Ark feeling." And all that, he's like, I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know if I should be excited for it. And then he gets into it, and he's like, it sucks. I mean, whenever I ask Assassin his opinion, usually in party chat, it's either like, it sucks or okay. So okay means it's good. It sucks means it's terrible.
Well, it's just, I just don't get why it's on Xbox. Like, they're supposed to say, that I think one of their time points of the game is like, 1,000, or like I don't know how many players, but it's supposed to be like way over 1,000 on a server. And like that's cool and all, but the game, like let's be honest here, the game's gonna run like shit on Xbox. Ark already runs like shit on Xbox. That game's been out for years, and I mean that's what Atlas is right now. It's pretty much what Ark is like, but it's pirates and not dinosaurs.
Well, I haven't had a chance to play it, and after seeing some of the clips on the game, I'm afraid to play it. I'm afraid it's going to be like a huge letdown for me. I loved Ark, don't get me wrong, and I have a bad taste with Ark now because the server that I joined when it first started, I was in this really good tribe or clan, whatever you want to call it. We were like dominating, and then I stopped playing for like a month, and I go back, and it's a whole new clan. Like my whole clan leadership changed or tribe changed, whatever, and they put me in prison because they didn't know who I was. And I was like a never-ending drown in prison. Every time I came up, they're like, "Not allowed out," and then somehow they locked me back up. I don't exactly understand it, but I was like, okay, this game kind of sucks now. With Assassin, I'm being tortured to death. Dreadpool, have you had a chance to check out Ark or Atlas, any of these types of games?
I've tried. I've tried at Ark. I just find it too slow, to build up your character. Once you build it up, then I'm sure it's a lot more fun. But from the start, I had nobody. I kept on fighting like a giant fish or a crab or something, and just kept on dying. I gave up. Ark, just from what I've seen, other people when they get advanced, it looks great. I just don't have the time to do all that. I want to be able to get in and play and get going. And with all the stuff that I'm looking at, I'm like, oh, cool. When am I going to get this? I keep dying. I'm tired of this. So I stopped with that. But Atlas looks really cool. I just don't see the ship-to-ship combat as fun anymore. It's interesting. I don't think it's going to be a let me jump in, play a little bit, and jump out thing. I think there's going to be a little bit more. Obviously, there's a learning curve to this also. It's unfortunate it's not for me as much as I wanted to. I love Black Flag, but this is not for me.
Yeah, and it's definitely nothing like Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I'll give you that much. Taylor, have you had a chance to check it out?
I haven't checked out Atlas at all, but I did play Ark a little bit. I had a server with a couple friends. Could not really get into it, and this is gonna end up being kind of like the same thing, I feel. And much as I love pirates, like Black Flag, great game, and I know I'm not gonna be able to get into this if this is anything like Ark. And from seeing some of the gameplay stuff, it's gonna be extremely similar. I can't. I'm with Brett on this. I can't. I'm not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. When I first heard Atlas, I was hoping for something like kind of cartoonish like Sea of Thieves, but with like Minecraft building elements. But what I got was a complete disappointment and like Ark, and I'll end up in prison and somebody will kill me and drown me over and over, no matter what
Hiding in
groups I.
giant crabs.
Yeah, no matter what groups I join, it's gonna happen to me. It's just my luck. So you might be better off not playing either, because you'll probably end up like me in some prison that you don't even know
Yeah,
how you got there.
I got in prison too. It's fine. I know.
Did you?
Yeah, because I was playing with Cameron and all them. They put me in prison multiple times.
Oh wow.
I would steal materials to try and make things. They'd be like, "You're not allowed to touch anything anymore," and then I'd get imprisoned.
Yeah, I feel for you. It's painful. Well, I mean, there's really not much else to say on that topic as well. But, I was going to jump this in, put them together, but I didn't get any clips for Hunt Showdown. And Hunt Showdown came out of preview, I believe. Am I right, Assassin?
Yeah, probably a month ago at this point. Well, maybe not even. Probably a few weeks ago.
So I just wanted to get the panel's real quick opinions on Hunt Showdown. I mean, I played it once or twice while it was in preview, and it gave me bad eye headaches, and I had to stop playing it. It seems like the mechanics could be fun, but I just did not think graphically it was where it should be. I felt like it had a lot of issues with that. Jedpool, have you had a chance to play Hunt Showdown?
No, I have not. I was watching it for a bit, and with it being in preview, I just there's so many games in Game Pass. Preview just is in the back of my mind. I don't even think about it. Every time I see it on someone posting about it or talking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't need to check that out. But in the end, it faltered. It just didn't draw enough attention or interest from me to look into preview to see if I even wanted to try it out that way.
Yeah. The PC version of Hunt Showdown seems to be a lot better from when I watch some people on Twitch and Mixer, but the Xbox version is what I played, and it just doesn't compare. Sass, I know you played this a lot. For a while, you were actually trying and hoping to get into it, but it just failed as a game for you. You want to elaborate a little bit?
So, the whole game's, mechanics and things with traps and, old type of guns and, have to PvP, PvE elements, or you have to be sneaky, and there's bosses. That's cool. The graphics, yeah, they're not great. I could get used to them, type of a thing. The biggest problem is the lack of aim assist. There's no aim assist in the game, which makes all the guns hard to use as it is. And there's this perk, it's called fanning, where you have a pistol that you put you see in movies where they put their hand at the back and they just constantly go up and down and shoot a bunch of bullets super fast. Well, that's the only way to win at the game now, because the lack of aim assist. No one is going to try to snipe you or shotgun you, because you're just going to miss. Same thing with the rifles. So you pretty much have the super fast pistol that can instantly down you, and that's the whole meta of the game. If they literally just put aim assist in the game would be light years better. But the fact that now no aim assist and you have to use fanning as a huge crutch perk is disgusting. Plus, there's no colorblind option, so lots of it is red markers and things, and it's really hard to see those markers when you can't really see that color.
Yeah, I mean, I can't elaborate on the colorblind stuff, but I know that it's a huge deal for you, and I feel bad because there's a lot of people out there suffer from that condition, and it seems like developers just they're not on par yet with where they need to be with colorblind options for a lot of people. It seems to be a huge struggle in the colorblind community.
Yeah, it's with these developers, they either don't care, they don't put it in the game, like on Showdown, or B, they care enough to say that they have these options, but then they don't care, and they put, so Modern Warfare, for instance, the new one's coming out in the beta, red-green colorblind. I had that on. the red names above people's head turned to a slightly brighter red, which didn't help at all. And then there was another red green that literally did nothing. It literally was the same as the first one. And then there's like blue, which is fine. I feel like I'm slightly blue colorblind. I've noticed recently with some things, but it's just it's annoying. And then like or for instance, Black Ops 3, you turn it to red green. The friendlies turn yellow, or the enemies turn yellow. I forget which one. But then you go into like maps that are desert, which is a lot of the maps, especially in Blackout. Yellow background with a yellow dot, that does not work well at all.
Taylor, any thoughts on Hunt Showdown?
I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you.
It's a PvE, PvP like bounty game. You start in with like these old like type of lever action guns and things, and you have to find these clues which lead to like this big like boss creature. Sometimes there's one on each map, sometimes there's two, and there's like a bunch of zombies and things, and like the sound is really good in the game. So like if you go over like if someone shoots their gun, like you can kind of tell where they are. There's birds, so you can scare birds, horses. You don't even have to do the bounties. You could just get a bunch of kills of like just the normal little creatures or go after players, and then you extract, which then like ends the match. So matches can last like up to an hour, and you could just sit there killing everything, and then extract or get the bounties, which then will get you more XP when you extract, and that's pretty much the whole game.
Huh.
Well, speaking of games, Assassin, let me get into this next game because Nintendo's killing it this year.
Yeah.
So Taylor, I know that you're a huge Nintendo fan. Dreadpool, I'm not sure about you. Do you like Nintendo?
I've grown up with Nintendo. I have a Switch, but I really don't play it. I'm more on the Xbox side, but I've played them all. So.
Do you have any thoughts on this Luigi's Mansion 3?
I haven't played any of them. I mean, I've tried them out, but I haven't really, played them out at the store and all that. I've never bought any. So it's a curious look. I'm keeping an eye on it, but I really haven't made a decision one way or the other. It's more likely going to be a no. I just find we haven't played as much with the Switch as we thought we would have.
So Nintendo's kind of like a nostalgia point for you, and it's just like they need to really wow you to get you back into it, kind of thing.
Yes.
I can feel you. I feel you there.
Yeah, I mean, even with the mini NES that they came out with, it was a great nostalgia. Playing this, and then people were talking about the online, how shoddy it was, and now that they fixed it, I've always joked around with everybody saying, hey, look, before they actually had their online, and you could still play, but they didn't have chat. And I was always like, oh, they do have chat. Just jump on Xbox game chat, joking around. But it's great for the portability, for the playability at home, and just taking it away with you. It has a lot of good points, a lot of great features. It just hasn't really drawn me in like the old consoles used to.
Yeah, I feel you there. I mean, I can see that. I have a Switch, and I get excited every time a new game comes out, but I barely ever play it. So shame on me because I still get them somehow, and I just don't play them.
Yeah, we go on trips. And where I drive to, so it's a long trip, about an hour to 2 hours, and we leave it on the dock. We never think about bringing it with us and one of us playing while the other one's driving, or giving it to my daughter to play while we're driving. We don't even think about it. It just sits there, and we purposely have to like, oh, you know what? I want to play some Mario Kart, or I want something to be like to draw our attention to it to play. So, Luigi's Mansion is definitely not going to make that happen.
Taylor, real quick before we move on to the next topic, because my dog is starting to bark like crazy. Go ahead and tell us your opinion on this as well.
I am so excited for Luigi's Mansion. I loved the last couple games. I had them for the 3DS, so I played them on that. So I'm really excited to have them for the Switch because I actually will take my Switch on me for trips. I'm actually going up to Washington for Christmas, so I'll have a couple hours of a flight to kill some time with. So I'll have it for that at least. And then I'll be driving around a lot while I'm up there, so I'll have it for the car rides while I'm doing that. I use my Switch a lot more now that for car rides and stuff. So I actually use my Switch like that. I'm like someone here. But yeah, I'm really excited for Luigi's Mansion. Like I'll every now and then like I'll just pull the trailer up and I'll just watch the trailer again. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just excited for it.
I mean, I feel you there. To me, there's something magical about Nintendo games. The problem is, every time I go to start one up, I'm like, Dreadpool, I'm like, well, why am I playing this? Or what's going to draw me back into this game or genre? Or, it's just like, it looks so cool to me. And I might play it for like 5 minutes, but I'm afraid I'm just going to get so bored.
How do you get bored with... Oh, fine, I can't.
True facts here. I'm going to spill it right now. I played Link's Awakening for like 30 minutes, and then I was like, time to move on.
I'll get through like a dungeon, and then I'll get annoyed because it makes me mad that it takes me so long to get through a dungeon. And then I'm like, well, now I'm annoyed, and I don't want to go through another one because I'm just going to get more mad. And then I'll turn it off.
Yep.
It frustrates me how annoying it is to get through dungeons in a child's game.
Assassin.
I'm
sorry. Go ahead, Dreadpool.
I was going to say, you want to hear something funny about that? I'm going to get lambasted about. I haven't even played it.
I'm like halfway through it. I need to finish it. I'm halfway through Borderlands and Zelda right now. I can't finish either of the games currently, and I don't know why.
To me, it was just too much. When your weapons break, when this happens, it was just too much micromanaging. Just like what was it, Breakpoint? When they were talking about it, there was a lot of micromanaging. I think games that utilize too much micromanaging is killing them. At least for me, I'm already getting micromanaged by my company. I don't need to do that in a game. So, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's facts, Triple. Right there, what you said. I can't stand micromanagement either. And I worked for a company like that over here in, where I'm at. And, man, I hated it. So I don't need it in a game either. And you brought up a good point about micromanagement. Assassin actually ventured into the Breath of the Wild. And he really loved that micromanagement in that game.
Oh no, I am never going back to that game. I just can't.
Good game though.
I just like I want to have a weapon that when I smack someone, it doesn't break one smack in. Like I understand you'll get better weapons later on and things, but like I don't want to spend the first like X amount of hours just constantly switching through weapons over and over. And then seeing this big like enemy that one shots me just over and over, and like it's so annoying. Like I'm done. I don't want to play it.
Well, you're in luck because Luigi's Mansion 3 might not have micromanagement. Are you excited for the Assassin?
I want to play the game. I haven't seen anything about it. I don't usually spend a lot of time looking at Nintendo games because I don't know. It's just something I do, I guess. But I want to get it, but I just don't have money to spend on the Switch, which sucks because I really do like my Switch.
I know you are always trying to get us to play Mario Kart Online. So if
Yeah, it's
anybody,
so annoying trying to get to find people.
in the chat plays Mario Kart Online, Assassin's been looking for people to play with. And he's pretty good at it. So don't be mad if you lose. Just putting that out there. Well, you know, we're almost at the 15-minute mark, so it's probably time to move on to the next topic before the show ends, and that would be Modern Warfare. I know it's been a topic the last 2 or 3 shows, and Taylor's really happy with that. I mean, she loves
Oh,
Modern Warfare.
I love Modern Warfare so
See,
much.
she so much
Oh, I love it.
enthusiasm.
Well, you're getting it, Taylor. Are we gonna play it this weekend?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
She's like, if you buy it for me, Assassin.
Yeah.
That's what she's thinking.
Listen, I've told you guys multiple times that you have to buy me Call of Duty in order for me to play Call of Duty.
Well,
You have both said you would buy me Call of Duty.
Taylor, you would be happy to know that there is supposedly and allegedly going to be no loot boxes in this. And I know
I'm
Assassin's going to
so
have
happy.
Yeah,
I'm so happy about that.
I know it might convince you like 2% to play the game. But before we get into Assassin's thoughts on it, I want to hear Dreadpool, his opinion on it. You there, Dreadpool? Oh, not sure if we lost him. Or if he muted his mic. But go ahead, Assassin. Can you elaborate on that a little bit for us?
Yeah, so Activision put out a blog saying there's going to be no loot boxes. They're going to favor kind of like what Apex Legends and Fortnite is doing and a few other games, where they're doing this battle pass. They'll have like a free and premium pass, which will earn you cosmetics throughout the season. And then they'll have a store with paywalled items, which we all know how I love my paywalled items in a $60 to $100 game. I'm not a fan of. I didn't get the sarcasm, but I mean, so the premium one's supposed to earn you COD points just like the other ones. So I feel like once you spend, who knows how much it's going to be, and you can earn that money back and just buy the next one, I am totally fine with that. But if you can't earn enough and they're going to make you have to spend more money on it, I am not a fan of that whatsoever. But it seems like this whole microtransaction thing at the moment is like a side thing. Unlike Black Ops 4, where it's pretty much like 90% of the game, and then you have Black Ops 4 on the side. So I mean, who knows what will happen later? Usually in the January, February area where the Christmas sales are done and the new quarter for their sales need to happen and whatnot. So I mean, there's a chance. Because I know with Black Ops 4, they're like, there's no loot boxes, but then they named them reserves. So technically, there's no loot boxes in Black Ops 4, but I mean, who knows what Modern Warfare will do. But Infinity Ward is usually good with their microtransactions. They're usually player friendly, unlike Treyarch, who says, "Screw you, we love your money, give it to me now or else."
Yeah, I mean, we still have yet to see because Activision, I think, has pulled this bait and switch in the past before for something like this. I remember Jez saying something on Twitter, but I could have construed that wrong.
In the past, like, I mean, to be fair, they never put up a blog and said, yeah, there's no loot boxes. So, I mean, that's kind of like, it used to be like devs were like, oh, yeah, there's no loot boxes. Or my favorite quote is David Vonderhaar said in Blackout, you would be able to earn all the characters just by playing the game through Blackout, and you don't have to spend a single dime on them. And 3 months later, here's Blackout characters behind paywalls. So, I mean, the chances of them adding loot boxes because they advertised it through a blog, I feel like they won't. Because I feel like they'll be held accountable for something like that.
Well, I know our good friend Yeti would be very sad if there is no loot boxes, loot crates, special items, characters that you could buy that you can't earn in game, because he loves buying the stuff in Call of Duty and supporting them so that they continue making more microtransactions. With that said, Dreadpool, do you have any thoughts on this? The no loot box thing that they're promising?
Yeah, I started talking. Did anybody even hear anything I said, or am I
No.
starting fresh? Okay. I was like, what happened here? Um, the let me figure out how I started off and I threw myself off on this. Um, what was it? Something about surprise mechanics. So I'm hoping that doesn't pop up. I'm hoping that they actually keep it as is. When I first heard about it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna jump on. I pre-ordered it. It's already paid for months ago when they first opened it up for pre-orders. Um, I played the beta. It was fun. I had a blast. I was like, all right, good. I'm gonna keep this. Talk to my friends because my friends always bought. Usually in the 360 days, I bought the COD and we were playing. You know, this time around, my friends were like, always buying it, and I was holding off. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna have a good time. And and I'd have to wait for a sale. Finally, when I buy it, I start to go play, and they've already moved on. So I'm in that little boat where I have to watch what I spend on, and so I have to wait for a sale to play with everybody, and everybody usually moves on. So this time I'm like, yes, I'm getting this ahead of time. This is going to be great. Now my friends are like, that's Infinity Ward. We're going to hold off. So
Oh, that sucks.
yeah, it's funny, but I got one friend that actually said he's like, I don't care what they say, I'm still buying it. So, and granted with the community, I found people to play with anyway. I mean, I played with Wild Baits that we all see in the community, and we actually had fun playing the beta. We played with a few other people, and it was a great time. And I've got no regrets so far. And the best part was we were playing with uh, Xbox dudes against PlayStation dudes and dudettes. Not to be discriminating, but dude and dudettes. So now, it's the classic. Oh, Xbox guys are better, but we had randoms. We had our group of guys, and we had some randoms playing against PlayStation. We tore them a new one, and so we were all cocky. We're like, yeah, we ran into another group. We're like, we got this. We got this. They handed us a new one, and I'm like, this is where we should be competitive between, our consoles. This is a game that we can actually have fun with, and actually, and have a little bit of trash talking between each other. And it's all fun trash talking. Nothing like, oh, your mama, none of that stuff. I owned you, you owned me, whatever. Okay, good to go. We play with PC. And even with PC, you could tell who actually had a high-end rig and who just had a PC. Most of those guys, uh, we were still getting them. Even though they were on PC, we were still killing them. So as a game as a whole, it's doing something that not many companies have allowed to happen. It's all this cross-play. I'm hoping that cross-play and cross-progression builds from this. Let's not have, maybe I understand if we have seasons where we add more to it, but let's not segregate the community by saying, hey, look, you have to pay for this map. Otherwise, you can't play with everybody else. I've been on that boat too. Back in the Halo days, you either had to pay up front or you had to wait for it to become free. So there's so many avenues that this game has opened up for everything, for other games. Everybody's been talking about it. This game is actually fun to me. So, it's the prospect of where we're going to head to with future games and what we're looking at currently. So between this and the future, this is going to be great. Now, as long as we don't have any surprise mechanics that pop in, I'm okay with it. Now, the other thing with paid, anything that's paid, yet again, I'm sort of on the okay bus, where if you want to buy a skin, that's up to you. I really don't care. But the problem is when you do that, you just justified the reasoning to do that. At the same time, they got to make money somehow. And if they want to do that, they can start jacking up prices on the games. You look at all these deluxe edition and advanced deluxe edition and the ultimate edition, then you find out that there's a super ultimate edition. You're like, I thought I bought the top tier game, so I don't have to buy anything anymore. It included everything, and it still doesn't. So that's, to me, that's another added thing that we have to look at. We have to pay attention to. We voice, vote with your money. Yeah, we definitely need to vote with our money, but at the same time, they're voting with our money too. Because if they're saying, look, we're not making enough, these stockholders are putting us to it, how can we be even more shady to get these guys to buy this stuff? So they develop the games to say, hey, look, you just got bested by this guy because he used this gun, but you can only buy this gun. Yet again, this is the shady stuff that I don't like these companies doing. This game is awesome, and I hope it does not get ruined that way. Guns actually sound like guns when you're at a distance. That you could tell that there's a different weapon being fired at you. I don't know what else to say. There's just so much going on with this game that I'm excited for. And it's just, it's just exciting. It's an exciting time right now. This game is pushing the envelope for other games, even though it's a developer that most people don't like. But you know what? They're doing something, and with the next game coming out next year, that's the only thing I have an issue with, is that one holdback of a mode that they're saying is like 5% of the game. Why are you holding it back? Why are you taking the money? You want to open it to everybody. I mean, maybe that was their leverage. Is this one mode what's holding us back from having crossplay? All right, give it to them. Let's get crossplay going. At least we can get into the door. We don't know what the companies are doing. A lot of times we assume that they're being shady. We know that they want money, and we need to figure out a way to be able to give them the money that they're looking for, but yet at the same time, we need to save our money. We need to get as much value for our money from these games. That's all I got.
Yeah, and I mean, you make some good points. Infinity Ward is actually one of my favorite Call of Duty developers. I really like their stuff more than the others. And, I feel you in the sense that if you buy microtransactions, you're kind of like justifying it in the future games. And I gotta say, with Call of Duty though, like I find Taylor's probably gonna rain down on me here, but I like loot boxes. I like loot crates.
No.
I do like buying special things, like special characters you can't earn in game. I think it's kind of neat because it makes you feel unique. Like, Assassin might earn the highest tier character in a season pass, and he might be like 10% of the people that do that, so he has a rare character. But I might not have the time to grind it like he does, or not as good as him, but I can go ahead and buy a character that maybe only 1% of people have because they bought it. So I kind of feel that, gratification there. I just hope that they do this game right and they do it justice. I hope campaign's good. I like the fact that there is crossplay because your friends aren't forced to say, hey, I need to get an Xbox to play with you, or, oh, I just sold my PS4, I need to get a PS4 to play with you. Now they could just play on whatever console platform that they have, which is kind of neat. We did that with Inferno, and, I mean, it worked out pretty good, right, Assassin?
Yeah, it worked, except the invite issue, but other than that, it worked pretty well.
Yeah, I think that was just because it, was kind of like in the alpha beta phase, yeah. And I think all that stuff's going to be worked out later on. Plus, we had to get used to the Activision online system versus like the gamertag system, so that was a little bit different for us too. Taylor, you have any thoughts on this? I know that you're really sad about these loot boxes.
Oh, I'm so sad about there being no loot boxes. Depressing. I just, you guys know I don't care so much about Call of Duty.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think you're lying. I think you eat, drink, and breathe Call of Duty. Your probably walls are just Call of Duty. You have tattoos, Call of Duty. Your shirt's Call of Duty. Your car license plate, Call of Duty.
Yeah, my one tattoo is Call of Duty. Yep. That's what it is.
I knew it.
Yep.
I knew it. No, but in all seriousness, Dreadpool, I know you said that sometimes, like, you find people to play with, or some of your buddies didn't get it, but Assassin is a diehard Call of Duty fan, so you can imagine when that game drops, he'll be on it. So if you ever want to join up with us, feel free to do so. He'll probably be playing that for the first few weeks, like, almost nonstop, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, until Star Wars comes out. Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
I'll be looking for you guys. My first weekend, obviously, that it drops, I'm not even going to be able to play. I'm doing a haunted house that we're sponsoring, so don't even bother anybody looking for me. If you see me, it's probably somebody watching my kid trying to watch TV and trying to figure out why they're getting invites. So don't think I'm ignoring you. But yeah, definitely after that, I'll look for you guys.
All right, man. Yeah, it sounds like a plan for sure. And anybody in the chat, if you have any comments on next Call of Duty or any thoughts on it, we'd love to hear your opinions. But, we actually did go over the hour mark, which is kind of new for us because we haven't had really many topics to talk about lately, to be honest. So I'm happy about that. I'm actually ecstatic. And I want to thank everybody for coming out in the chat tonight. I mean, it was really cool seeing a lot of people like Salty, Stinger, Stinkin', Sonic, of course, Daz, moderator of the world, he's moderating everybody lately. And his Daz cast, man, is awesome. It's taken off. So if you haven't seen the Daz cast, you got to check that out, man. The Daz cast is awesome. Good times, good people. Probably not safe for work, but they always crack open a few beers and have good laughs. So it's a lot of fun on there. Indie Gamer, thanks for stopping by. Invader. Anybody else I missed, I'm sorry. I was just trying to scroll through the chat real fast. So before we get out of here, I want to really thank Dreadpool for coming by, hopping on the panel today. He was on vacation, so it was kind of awesome to get him here and listen to him talk about topics. So thank you for dropping by, Dreadpool. We definitely appreciate it, bro.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you. I had a great time. It's just obviously with my work schedule, I'm usually sleeping when you guys are on, so I have to watch it on replay when I get to work. So, and everybody's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm listening to somebody. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
Yeah, but I had a great time. It didn't even feel like an hour. It really does not even feel like an hour. I mean, we've been in the game stage, and even with that, it feels like it's only been like 15 minutes. So I don't even feel like I got all my topics in, but obviously we did.
Yep, we definitely did. And we really appreciate your views on stuff. I mean, the topic of the Blizzard thing, you dropped a lot of good points, so I hope people go back and listen to that. That was an amazing topic where you dropped some facts. That was awesome. But tell people where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on YouTube, on Mixer, on Xbox. I do have a PlayStation account. I just rarely get on there, and I usually play single player games, so I don't mention it, but I figured I'd mention it this time. Same thing with my Nintendo, but I don't even have it online for the Switch. I'm on Twitter most of the times. That's where the easiest place to find me, and it's Ed Dreadpool with zeros instead of O's. And YouTube is Dreadpool, Mixer is Dreadpool, Gamertag is Dreadpool. I will be on Wilmy Hood's Gaming Beyond the Box this Wednesday. Thursday, I'm going to be on Salty's Gaming Podcast. Friday morning, I'm going to be on Breakfast with Boom. There was a little schedule conflict for tonight, so I know I've been telling everybody I'm going to be there tonight. I'm not, but I will be there in chat. So I'm looking to see everybody there. And then Dazcast at the end of this month, I'm going to be sneaking into that one too.
Nice, man. You're on a world tour for podcasts, bro.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm whoring it up for sure.
Well, that's awesome. Glad to hear that, and I'll check those out as well, so I get to hear you speak on topics. And Taylor, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you.
Best place to find me is on Twitter. I've been way more active on there lately. Everything is zebra fries with 2 B's because I can't spell. And then obviously Xbox gamertag is zebra fries. Those are the best 2 places to find me. I've been trying to get on Xbox a lot more lately. Yeah, 2 best places to find me.
Well, Call of Duty's coming out, so that's another great reason to get on Xbox.
Yep.
Someone wants to buy it for me, I will play it. Putting that out on mostly Clowns and Assassin because you two are the ones that bug me the most about it. And there's no loot boxes, so I am more likely to play, not buy.
And Assassin, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you and your amazing Twitch channel.
Well, you can find me on Twitter and on Xbox and PS4 and Switch. And Twitch, where I stream almost every day. Currently, we're going through every Infinity Ward campaign, and we're almost done. Just in time for Modern Warfare.
Nice. Well, just in case people don't know, is there an underscore in that ZPCI underscore assassin, or is it ZPCI space assassin?
Depending on the platform, it's either space or underscore. If you can have a space, then it's underscore. So like Twitch and PlayStation, there's no space. It's underscore. But on Xbox, it's space. It's confusing, but...
You confused me there a little bit, yeah. But
Yeah, you confuse the crap out of me. Is it Twitter underscore too?
Yeah. So
There you go.
Xbox is the only one with spaces.
There you
wow,
go.
dude, you know,
Jesus.
instead of just saying twitch.tv/ZPCI underscore assassin, now you know where to find him on everything with or without the underscore. So, yeah, check him out. He's an affiliate on Twitch, and he's trying to work his way up to partners. So, go ahead and give him a follow, a sub if you like his stuff, and shout out to the chat. And as for me, I'll be on Bloom Show tonight. I believe starting at 7, and then I should be on Salty Show next Thursday as well. So yeah, and then you can check us out every Monday, hopefully, or every other Monday, depending on how the topics go lately. There's not been a whole bunch, but 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 Guys with Quarters. And we're almost on every podcast platform now. I am working on something with Pandora. Hopefully, they accept the contract that I tried to send over that they sent me. So I hope it works out, because that would be really cool to get us on Pandora. But we're even on iHeartRadio now and a couple other places. So yeah, check us out there. And I want to thank everybody for coming by in the chat. We definitely appreciate it. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.